Hey, peoples. I didn't know the camera was on there. Many things I want to talk about. And the thing that drives me crazy is that people don't understand what a slippery slope is. Why you have to be careful when legislation starts to go through, and why you have to be so careful to nitpick when you see bills going through. Let's take this for example. ATT. I signed up with them for unlimited data, $100 a month, I think. I think it was $100. And I could use as much data as I want. Now, I'm using too much data, they say. So they're bottlenecking me. They're slowing down the data. I can barely use the phone for video, podcast, anything that's going to take some downloading. It takes forever to do. Can't watch Seinfeld, can't watch movie, can't watch podcast, whatever I want to watch. So, see, they kind of got around that. Unlimited data, yeah, we'll give you unlimited data, but if you go too far, then we're gonna slow it down. So that's how things get a little bit crazy. That's why you want to be really specific about this national defense bill, that the wording is very clear that Americans can't be arrested and detained for no reason. Now, I've heard different things, one from Salon Magazine that they changed the wording, I heard that they didn't change the wording. I have checked many sources. I'm trying to find out what the answers are, and I can't. And who else has the time to do this? As far as other issues, on the payroll tax extension, they're trying to jam that pipeline, no pun intended, down our throat. And the reason why it's being delayed, I found this on Bernie Sanders' YouTube page, was because they have not, the people who check the safety, the environmental safety, had a conflict of interest, so that may take a while before we get that straightened out. And then SOPA, we thought that was going to be done next year when Congress came back. Turns out they're trying to maybe sneak that through next Wednesday. So, I'm trying to figure out what the best sites are to file all this stuff. And I'm going to work on it. One of the things that I think I'm no longer going to be able to do my podcast with my brother. So what I'm going to do is start doing more stuff on Justin TV. Sorry for all these faces. I'm kind of tired. No longer will do a podcast with my brother, most likely. So one of the things I'll do is start recording on Justin TV, and that way on Justin TV people can talk back to me, and that's the way I can do maybe a video like blog if someone was actually talking back to me and asking me questions. The other thing that annoys me is that my iPhone doesn't know how to spell iPhone. It always has to correct me. Shouldn't an iPhone know how to spell iPhone? But AT&T really is please stay away from AT&T. If you don't have to use your cell phone outside the country, I forget, but I would go Verizon, people. I know there's a slight difference in the phone. And I think one of the facts is that you can't use the phone abroad. So me and my brother talked for quite a while, him kind of saying that he couldn't do the podcast anymore. And we talked and talked and talked, and the funniest thing that was said was, I was just telling how the debates are ridiculous, and I use an alternative Twitter account to talk about things that I can't put on Facebook because it would just rile people up. So anything that I think is not for mainstream Facebook, I put out on an anonymous Twitter feed. But we were just talking, and I was telling him about how these debates are ridiculous, and he said a funny line. He said, "It looks like you have to be an idiot to want to be. It looks like you have to be an idiot to want to run this country." That's what you learn when you see the Republican debate, and I got to agree. None of those candidates, I don't want to put this on my social cam because it'll just perturb people, because I don't want to be political on a social cam that I might post on it. But really Republicans, that's the best you got. You got Romney, who's just a complete phony. You got Gingrich, who's completely bought off. You got Ron Paul, who love him to death, anti-war and anti-Fed, but you can't have no regulations. You can't deregulate, and he's not electable. He's like a cross between Mr. Magoo and a Muppet. Bachmann, no, stop. It's just, there's nobody there, and I just don't know if the other candidates were afraid to run against Obama or what's going to happen. But I don't want to get political on you, but I just thought it was a funny line that the Republican debates are showing nothing except that you have to be an idiot to run this country. All right, avoid AT&T. And so if you see me ever on Justin TV and you want to pop in and ask me some questions, do so, because that's all I got right now. If you want to do a podcast or a show of any kind, get in touch. All right, bye-bye.